Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Carolina Teague with another episode of League of Our Own. Welcome back. It is a cold Monday. Very cold all across the United States. I think a cold front hit everywhere. But we're here at VodPod Media Studios, making sure everything is running smoothly with my producer, radio husband, and host, Gylan Jackson, making sure everything is running smoother than olive oil on a baby's behind. We have a really great show for you guys. A lot of stuff in Spurs land, so we definitely got to talk about it because we're here in San Antonio. Of course, Josh Giddey and the quote-unquote allegations that he might be having a relationship with a minor. And Sports Illustrated, they're now replacing journalists with artificial intelligence. And so are sports journalists irrelevant now? Well, I mean, there might be some weight to that. So we want to definitely get into that. Over the weekend, I really didn't do much. Oh, it was Thanksgiving. I did a lot of cooking, about 10 hours worth of cooking. And
was it worth it?
It was worth it. I thought all my food was bussin', as the kids say. And I made the ham with pineapples. Oh, by the way, remember I told y'all last week that pineapples is my favorite part of the ham? Or favorite part? So Gylan likes cranberry with stuffing. I like ham. The part I like the most of my whole meal is the sugary pineapple that goes on the ham. I like to eat that. Well, my dad threw them away on accident.
Your dad?
My dad
what did he throw away?
He accidentally threw away my pineapples.
Oh,
that
wow.
are on my ham. That's my favorite part of my meal. I slow cooked my ham for like 3-4 hours, and slow cooked my pineapples. They were sugary. They were glazy, and he threw them away. My brother and I got into an argument after my dad threw away the pineapple. The family argument was my brother said that pineapples don't even belong on the ham. They're just decoration. And me saying that pineapples are my favorite part of the ham is the equivalent of me saying that my favorite part of chicken Alfredo is the parsley. So that was our argument of the day on that. And
was it a real argument?
It was a real argument because
Wow.
because he was like, hey, look, it's not real food. It's a decoration. I'm like, it's not no damn decoration. So it kind of just
It kind of is a decoration.
I mean, it is
decoration.
It is a decoration, but it's edible. I don't think it's comparable to parsley though on a chicken Alfredo.
No, it's not. No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah,
because
like
parsley is like, no.
Yeah, it's a seasoning, right?
Yeah.
And well, I don't know. You guys told me, is pineapple considered decoration on a ham or is it edible? And you know, Gylan, you had your happy Thanksgiving and I had my happy Thanksgiving. So how was your Thanksgiving?
It was good.
Good.
Thanksgiving is Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly. Now we got
I'm not like it doesn't make sense to me for anybody to cook for 10 hours. Period.
Yeah, I my back was hurting.
And then if there's no complaints, I'm sorry. That's your fault. You chose to cook for 10 hours, so you get what you get.
I agree. That is why next year, and I say this every year, I'm not going to cook for 10 hours. I'm going to wrap it up in like 2 hours or less. That's my goal next year.
My sister was like, I'm ordering everything. Done deal.
That's smart. That's really smart. Okay.
Well, I guess it is.
It is smart. It's like you just pay your money and you go. Here's the food, everybody. Enjoy.
Yeah, but is it good?
I'm sure it's good. She wouldn't buy it if it wasn't good, right?
Well, who knows?
Okay, so let's get into the Spurs thing because this is the thing I've been wanting to get about because I was getting messages from people that were saying that San Antonio Spurs fans who boo are classless. And one of those people was my producer, Gylan Jackson.
Yes.
He said, Spurs fans are class. I said, you better stand on this on Monday. Because I don't believe that Spurs fans who boo are classless. I believe that there's absolutely nothing wrong with booing. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, during the Spurs versus the Clippers game right before Thanksgiving, Coach Greg Popovich, while they were losing, Spurs were losing, grabbed the microphone while Kawhi Leonard was about to shoot a free throw. And don't we have the video for this?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Okay, so Gylan's going to play this video that we have of what Coach Popovich did. He basically told the San Antonio Spurs fans who have been standing behind the team for about 4 decades that they need to stop booing and to have a little bit more class. And I want you guys to see this because initially when I first saw this video, I was happy with it because it reminded me of the WWE. I was like, oh my God. And me being in the wrestling business, the first thing that I've learned is that when the crowd is booing, the last thing you want to do is grab the microphone and tell the crowd to stop booing because the crowd is going to boo even louder. That's how crowds work. I learned a thing or two about crowd control, being an MC, being a ring announcer, and you don't want to piss off a booing crowd. So to tell Spurs fans to stop booing Kawhi, it just got louder. Do you have the video, Gylan?
Yeah, let me get it up.
Okay. And my thing is, I want to play the video because I want you guys to see exactly what I'm talking about. If you
All right, we're going to play it now.
Foul.
Kawhi Leonard at the free throw line.
That is 2 on Keldon. Leonard coming an average of 21. Had that Monday. 80% from the line on the season.
They can't hear you.
Kawhi with 8 points tonight. 3 of 5 from the floor. It is only 3.
Excuse me for a second.
Pops on the
Can we
mic.
stop all the booing and let these guys play? It's got no class.
It's not who we are. Knock off the booing.
Oh gosh. So of course they started booing louder right after this moment. And I just feel like this reminded me of the WWE. Of course they're going to boo louder. I didn't think they were booing at Pop like Gylan thinks. And I felt like booing is appropriate. It's a part of sports. And for Coach Pop to stand on it, because he's doubled down on this take. He said, it's an indication of the world we live in. It was hateful. It was really disrespectful. It's mean-spirited. We're the team when somebody comes back to town after being a Spur, we show a video of them and booing 5 or 6 later, that's going to happen. He's basically like, it's not okay. But right after the post game, because initially when this happened, I was like, hey, what are Pop's thoughts? I was like, maybe it's because he loves Kawhi. Maybe he has a personal relationship. Maybe he doesn't like how certain people respond to Kawhi, how the Spurs fans don't like him, and he helped them win a championship. Maybe he's over that. And I was like, well, if you feel like that, Pop, just say that. But post-game, Pop's words were the reason why he said that was because you don't poke the bear, insinuating that you don't antagonize Kawhi Leonard. And when a reporter asked him in a different way, he doubled down on that take. He said the reason why he got on the microphone, and he said, I quote, I'm speaking in English, don't poke the bear. Okay, so then he condescended the media and basically said, don't antagonize Kawhi. Well, I don't agree with that because it's sports. You're supposed to boo. You're supposed to antagonize. So I was really upset initially.
But how long and how much time? And I think that's what he's saying. Like, this was like literally the day before Thanksgiving. San Antonio Spurs as an organization does a lot of things right. And they treat the players really well when they come back. Mm-hmm. And you haven't heard Tim or Pop or Tony or Manu talk shit about Kawhi. Mm-hmm. Like, you just haven't seen it. Mm-hmm. But yet the fans for 5 years are booing. Mm-hmm. Do they feel good about themselves? Are you there to boo? Because to me, that shows a lot of angst and anger in your heart.
Right. And
after 5 years, if you ain't let the shit go, something's wrong.
I disagree with you. Why is it not okay for them to boo after 5 years? They only come play each other twice a year. It's not tired as boorish. And that's the argument that we were having, is that how is it boorish to boo? Isn't it part of going to a game to cheer and then to boo the opposing team? It's not like they were booing a player on the Spurs. It's not like they were booing Keldon Johnson or Victor Wembanyama. They were booing an opposing team.
Because all they are is a hurt ankle away and a trade away, and somebody's uncle saying something that we don't know is true or not, for them to start booing Kawhi. I'm start booing Wemby or booing somebody else.
So the breakdown of first of all, this goes back to 2017 when everything was just broken down the way it was. It was a hot mess. And
Correct.
And Kawhi has never said anything. He
doesn't need to.
Exactly. He's never spoken out. He's never said anything bad about the Spurs. He basically just sat out and let the chips fall where they may. From what I recall, San Antonio, Manu was coming out saying things about his injury. Tony Parker made some comments saying he should be healthy by now. They had a players only meeting back in the day when Kawhi was sitting out so they could talk about the situation.
They didn't boo him. They didn't turn their back on him.
So hold on. Wait a minute. Fans are allowed to be angry at that situation, and fans are allowed to boo.
Nobody is saying they're not allowed to boo. Nobody is saying they're not allowed to boo.
You can't.
5 years later, every time he touches the ball, every time he goes to the free throw line, it gets boorish.
But they were booing every single person who went to the line. They booed James Harden.
Well, yeah, but
every
you boo
player.
when people go to the line. That's what you do. That's what you do. But booing the dude 5 years in a row every single time, fine. If that's what you want to do as a fan, that's fine. But then I'm going to say that there is a level of that is classless, not the entire fan, but after 5 years. And they can say all they want in the chat. I get it. But I don't know anybody ever who I have hated that much where I will spend $60, $70, $80, $100, $200 to go to a game and boo.
So I don't think that people go to the game to boo just Kawhi. They're probably cheering too. They're probably booing anybody who goes to the line too. For Spurs fans to be condensed into a classless whole because they were booing
after
Kawhi
5 years.
After 5, absolutely.
Just booing, fine. Boo. Refs suck. Boo if somebody, air ball.
So all that's not classless, but booing Kawhi after 5 years is classless?
Still, every time he touches the ball, there is a level of classness that it rises to. Yes.
Okay, well then, like I said, if you want people to be a certain level of classy, then maybe don't watch sports then. Maybe go to a ballet.
Or maybe don't root for the Spurs.
Or maybe
don't root for the Spurs.
Or maybe go to an opera then.
Or maybe don't root for the Spurs.
Who would?
Because did Tim Duncan get pissed off after every call? Did Manu get pissed off at every time?
But you're holding.
They handled like a pro. They kept on going.
Fans are not pros though.
Of course not.
Hold on. Fans are not. Hold on. Let me just say this real quick. Fans are not professionals. You're expecting them to be like Tim, Tony, Manu, Pop. They're not.
Yeah, who
players.
everybody
They're
looks
not,
up to.
Yeah, but
who everybody looks up to. Who
people
are naming their kids after.
They are fans though. Fans are separate from players. They're there to cheer and they're there to boo. So to call them classless, especially Spurs fans, after how damn classy they've been throughout these whole
now
entire
because you've been classy, now you can find moments to be classless in because you've been classy?
No, because I don't think anybody should tell anyone what the level of classiness is when they're not even doing anything wrong. I feel like if they were throwing stuff at Kawhi, yes, that's classless. If they're trying to fight Kawhi, yes. If they're attacking his family, then yes, it is classless.
Which has probably happened. Things have been said.
Right, and then you could call him classless at that point. But that wasn't happening. And if that was happening,
hold on. Pop said
it
was getting nasty. That's what Pop said.
But hold on, wait. If he heard something in particular, then say that. LeBron has said that people have thrown racial slurs at him, and he says it post press conference. Hey, the reason why I got angry, or Russell Westbrook, the reason why I got angry is because somebody said something racial to me.
That's LeBron.
Because somebody said something wrong to me.
That's Russell Westbrook.
But if you're going to say post game, don't poke the bear, is my reason. So basically, Pop was saying to the fans, hey, y'all were antagonizing Kawhi. That's not a good enough reason to tell people not to boo. It's not.
So we're going to hold on to what?
I'm not saying to hold on to anything, but I'm saying if he goes to the line, people can boo him without being called classless. Classless group.
I'm not saying, again, I don't know how many times I have to say it, and I'm going to say it, and it's sexist. I know I'm talking to a woman. You hold on to one point, and you're dragging the point.
I'm not holding on to 1 point. I've
You
listed
are.
multiple points. I've said you're expecting fans to act like Tim, Tony, and
At
Manu.
5
That's 1 point. You
But
haven't.
hold up.
They've been booing for
Time
5
out,
years because
time
they
out.
don't like how Kawhi handled. That's
Time out.
point number 2.
Time out.
I said
Aren't we
that
proud-
you're supposed to boo the
aren't we
opposing
proud-
team. That's point number 3.
Aren't we proud
What do you?
of how how our team, our coaches, our staff have always treated other teams and how they've played with let me finish, how they play with class and respect, and they shake the other team. The Spurs play the right type of basketball. The Spurs play the beautiful game. If you want a team, there was a time that players wanted to only go to San Antonio, the most popular franchise, period. Right? That was a time. That was for a good 5-10 years. People rated San Antonio as the top. You know what? You know why? Because with shit like Pop did, and it wasn't, I don't know if it was right or wrong. And I'm just saying, like, 5 years of booing, to me, it gets old. Mm-hmm. It gets boorish, and there's a level of clashness for me because of the way that the organization and the players have carried themselves.
So that's how you feel, and you're allowed to feel how you feel, right? It hurts me that you say that. I know I'm talking to a woman, but you keep harping on to 1 point.
I'm messing with you, first of all. I'm messing with you.
I know you're messing with me, but let me just backpedal because somebody might hold on to that. I'm going to list a couple of points that I've already mentioned. Play without interrupting me, please. Players can boo, or fans can boo players on an opposing team.
Okay,
Fans
time out.
Hold on, wait.
Hold on. Reset what we're talking about.
Okay.
Just reset what we're talking about and go back into it.
Okay, so real quick, the reason why I think it's okay for Spurs fans in particular to boo Kawhi is number 1, you can boo an opposing player on a team.
I agree.
That's been from the beginning of time, right?
I agree.
Number 2, you have Kawhi Leonard, who Spurs fans hate because of the narrative that Kawhi didn't put out there.
Okay.
The media put out there, and
okay.
The Spurs essentially are the ones who put that narrative out there because they were the only ones speaking publicly on that situation during that time, which kind of started the wave of Spurs fans hating Kawhi.
And shapes what they think they know
and shapes
about the situation.
Correct. So
okay.
That it shapes what they think they know about the situation, right? So now a lot of Spurs fans, based off of how they've been shaped mentally, based off the reports that were put out there, they hate Kawhi because they feel as though he turned their back on the Spurs organization. And if you're like somebody like me who knows what happened on Kawhi's side, which I've heard from multiple people in Kawhi's camp, that side of the story, he's not a bad person. And I'm sure Pop is fully aware of that. And I believe that Pop probably knows that Kawhi Leonard is really not in the wrong. It kind of like it takes 2 to ruin a relationship. And that's probably why it hurts him that people boo him to this day, because he knows that at the end of the day it was wrong. But that doesn't make it okay to say that Spurs fans are classless because they're still booing. You cannot tell people how long they need to harbor their hurt in. You cannot tell people when they need to stop booing. If fans are still hurt by that situation, then okay. But they're still booing every other player. They weren't disrespecting Kawhi Leonard and throwing stuff at him, trying to fight him, acting like true classless fans. So to have this cloud over their head, now you have Spurs haters. And I'm not saying you're a Spurs hater, but people who are Spurs haters, they're now calling Spurs fans classless when they're really not. They're really not. As a totality, Spurs fans are not classless. And it's okay for Spurs players to boo. And now it feels like Spurs fans have to walk on eggshells.
Why?
Because I'm like, hey, am I allowed to boo right now? Is it okay?
They didn't stop booing. They didn't stop booing.
They
did not stop booing. So why are you walking on eggshells?
But me personally, if I was a fan, like you have your personal thoughts, if I'm personally in the crowd, I feel like I have to walk on eggshells now. Because I'm like, yo, I'm classless if I boo. So should I be booing right now?
Well, you worried about what other people think about you?
Can I? Well, Pop would think I was classless.
The act of booing after 5 years is what Pop is talking about. And it's disingenuous to say anything else. We know that's what he's talking about. He's all but said it.
So, how is it disingenuous to boo?
You know, this is when I talk about boorish and tired type stuff. Oh, well, Pop is rude to the media. Pop is rude to the media. Every single media person, when the camera goes off, talks about how amazing Pop is. I've never seen a media person that's like, Pop is a straight up asshole.
I've heard so many great stories about Pop. And by the way, I love Pop. This ain't got nothing to do with me hating Pop.
And you've asked Pop questions.
Yes, I have. But I don't hate Pop. I don't think Pop should be fired. People are calling for his job now. I don't think any of that should happen.
I think they wanted a reason to jump on. I really do.
Some people
Bears
did.
3, Minnesota 0.
Some people did.
I think people were just looking for a reason to like jump on him.
Some people did, but at the end of the day, a lot of people in this city that are talking heads, and I don't even know who they are. But a lot of people, from what I see, there's a consensus from people who just listen to sports talk that they say that people will not talk bad about the Spurs in this city. I'm not talking bad about the Spurs, but what I will say is I'm not going to sit here and act like they're perfect. They are wrong. Pop is wrong in that situation to tell the fans to not boo during the middle of a game. And I'm not afraid to say that because it is wrong.
And I'm not afraid to say it's okay to tell fans to stop booing when it's been done for 5 years and it's incessant. It just gets boorish. It does get boorish.
But haven't you I brought this point up to you over the weekend.
Damn it! If you make a good point, I'm gonna be mad.
No,
you only had like 2 good ones. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not popping up on the screen either. For some reason, my camera froze.
Good, because you over here not putting up good points anyways. You don't need to pop up on the damn screen right now. I'm just kidding.
Just because you and your boorish fans.
No, you just I told you when you call sports fans boring, that's what the narrative about sports fans too.
Boring.
Okay, real quick though. Hold on. For Spurs fans, where I was going with this. Oh, it is wrong to say to stop booing. It's not okay to do that, and I feel like they don't need that cloud over their head. And the Spurs fans who decided to boo louder, that they can do that. And like I said, it's like wrestling. If you tell a crowd to stop booing, they're gonna boo louder. That doesn't mean they're disrespecting Pop or anything like that. And if they hate Kawhi, they hate Kawhi. I don't hate Kawhi. I understand why Spurs fans hate Kawhi. But to call them classless as a totality, it's like people wanted a reason to call Spurs fans classless.
So hold up. So let's get really real. Nobody called them classless.
They said
that is not what Pop said. That is not what Pop said. That is not what Pop said. He did not call anybody classless. Like, if we're going to really get real and not just talk as like sports talking heads, Greg Popovich did not call anybody classless.
Okay, so what did
Correct?
he say? He said, let's have some class.
That doesn't make you classless.
So if you don't have class, because he said let's have some class, then you means that you lack class. So that means you kind of classless, right?
I don't know. You take it as being kind of classless?
I mean, if you're telling me I lack class, then yeah, you're telling me I'm acting classless. Absolutely.
Look, that's why I'm frozen like right now. So
it don't make no damn sense.
I'm frozen.
And here's the thing. I think this takes away from the bigger picture, by the way.
Which are the Spurs 11-3? 3-11?
The Spurs are 3-11. And this also takes away from you're frozen. This takes away from the bigger picture too, that that morning, one of their players, Spurs players, had said that they had a players only meeting. Okay. That should be the story instead of the booing.
Well, maybe.
It should be. What was the players meeting about? What was it about? I would like to know.
It was a players only meeting, not a players only and Carolina meeting.
I didn't say that I wanted to know, but what I'm saying is,
you said what was it about?
Well, exactly. That's the media's job, is to kind of figure out or kind of ask questions around the players only meeting and ask what's going on with that situation. But instead, we're getting a lot of questions about the booing situation. No,
like, I am real. Carolina can tell you I'm 100% real in what I'm talking about. I'm not trolling anybody.
So, like I was saying, the bigger picture is the players only meeting that just recently happened. I would like to know what that meeting was about, because that's the story that kind of was swept under the rug just a tad bit. Because remember when I said earlier, when Kawhi, the last players only meeting for the San Antonio Spurs is when Kawhi was sitting out, and things were bad for the Spurs because Kawhi wasn't playing. Everybody was trying to figure out what was going on. Fans and everybody were scrambling for answers. Now there's another players only meeting. Why? The Spurs are 3-11. What conversation happened in that room, and why was there a players only meeting? Are they upset with how obviously they're upset about something, and I would like to know what that's about, and I would like for people to kind of dig a little deeper to kind of figure out what that is. But instead, the narrative has been shifted to fans booing Kawhi and fans needing to show more class.
Okay.
That's the bigger picture, and I really want to know what's happening with the Spurs now. I don't care. I don't give a damn anymore about the booing. Because he kind of cleared it up. But I am more concerned about the players meeting. I am more concerned of why the Spurs are 3-11. I am concerned about the Jeremy Sohan point guard experiment. I am concerned about the losing record and why things haven't been shifted for Victor Wembanyama.
So at the beginning of the year and before that, I said everybody needs to pump their brakes. Period. End of story. Everybody's like ready. And I was ready for the Spurs to go, right? To do better. But this is a reality of kind of where they are. And the question needs to be, and I think the bigger story is, and the bigger question, has the game passed, popped by, and is it time? Is it time for him to leave and maybe be a consulting gig, right? But why are we so married to Pop, especially after 2 losing seasons? Because if we're going to give him leeway on losing and that he's still a great coach, then I think we got to take the good with the bad. And I think the good with the bad is, hey, stop booing. Because it's just he's a different type of coach now. He's more cerebral. He's in his head probably a lot more. And I don't see a flow to the team. So what is the real question? And I think the real question is it time for Pop to go?
A lot of people want Pop to go. It's hard for me to say that because, like I said, I love Coach Popovich as a coach. But this record that the Spurs have is really drab. And I have also questioned the bigger question. Wouldn't a coach who has a similar record, would they have already been fired? I believe the answer is yes.
It depends. It depends. I mean, you're talking 20 years of greatness.
Let's remove the greatness.
But you can't.
Okay, so let's keep the greatness. But, okay, let's say we keep the greatness, right? Are they purposefully losing? So they can draft somebody else. That's the hard thing for me to wrap my mind around. I'm trying to figure out what is the bigger picture. Are they trying to purposefully tank? Are they trying to get another high draft pick because they don't want to spend a lot of money bringing a big player here to the Spurs? Are they trying to get a new arena?
In my heart of hearts, I believe that they don't know what to do with Wemby. And I don't know of a team that knows what to do with Wemby because he really is a freak of nature when he's out there. And he's mid-range. He's a 3 shooter. He's a rebounder. He's a shot blocker. He's making records that nobody is keeping up with right now. So the question becomes, do they know what to do with Victor? And I don't think so.
You know what? And something that also kind of was big news that we kind of swept by as Spurs fans and people who watch the Spurs closely, Chip England, the quote-unquote shot doctor, that is his nickname, he's gone. He left to OKC. And OKC's offensive rating has went from one of the worst in the league to some of the best in the league. And the Spurs struggle with their shooting. So I think Spurs fans, people who closely follow them, kind of underestimated the importance of Chip England, because he would work, like, they call him the shot doctor for a reason. They worked on the player's positioning of the hand. He helped improve Josh Giddey, who we're going to talk about in a second, his 3-point shooting, and just doing a complete turnaround for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And he was vital to the San Antonio Spurs and why they were so great. And now he's gone, and you're starting to see all of the people who were under Coach Pop's tree slowly start to dwindle away. And I have to remind myself sometimes that in order to create a championship team, not only do you have to have greatness from the coach, you have to have greatness from the players, the assistant coaches, the trainers, everybody around you. So the Spurs have a problem, and it's not just limited to Jeremy Sohan being at point guard and we should have Trey Jones as the point guard or putting the pieces around Wemby. The bigger picture is everybody putting in together to be a winning team. And right now, based off of the numbers, the answer is no.
It is the bigger picture, though, Carolina, that we're living in the past as Spurs fans. That we're expecting something that it's been 5 years, right? What are we expecting? Like, this is a process. And a lot of these Spurs fans are either too young to remember, weren't alive, and are in shock right now because they've never been accustomed to their team losing. Well, guess what? The Spurs are losing. They're not as good as we think they are. I think we might be able to have maybe 4 or 5 more games that came down where they lost, but you got to learn how to win. And I don't know if the Spurs know how to win yet.
No, they don't know how to win. I mean, Devin Vassell just said that post game that they don't know how to win and put the winning piece around Wemby. He had a record-breaking game and playing incredible, but they just don't know how to win. So they got to figure that out. But the end of the day is I stand on Spurs fans being able to boo whoever the hell you want. If you want to boo Kawhi, boo Kawhi. It doesn't make you classless.
Boo. I'm all for booing. After 5 years, go get yourself checked out.
I don't think they should get themselves checked out. They come twice a year. I mean, that's how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, but man, every time Kawhi has a big game, he comes on TV. These same yahoos are out there. Oh, Kawhi. Okay, fine. Like, but let it go. Oh, real quick. There was a player, and I want to say he played for the Reds. I'm not 100% sure. And I told you about this, and you're like, oh, it was the other team. They booed him incessantly on the same team. The fans of his booed him. They stopped booing him completely, and that game he broke out of his slump and hit a home run, I think. Imagine if the Spurs used the energy around cheering and great energy for the Spurs. I think it might be better. I think we're very apprehensive right now as a team. We don't have the same fans that we had 5 years ago. We don't have the same fans that we had 15 years ago. And I think it's really showing.
I disagree. And the reason why is because at the games, the Spurs fans are really loud when they're cheering for their players, like very, very loud. And I think,
louder.
And I think, and no offense to you, Gylan, but I think you're living in a Spurs bubble and a Spurs world, because in different cities, they boo the same goddamn team. The Bears, which are on right now, they boo. Hold on, wait. They boo the same team, and if you're doing bad, they will boo. The Knicks boo their own players.
I'm not. That's fine. I'm not saying don't boo.
But you're saying channel it into cheering.
Yeah, it would be a lot better if they cheered.
But they do cheer.
And a lot lighter. And a lot louder.
They do cheer a lot.
And more.
Okay,
more.
So when's the last time you've been to a Spurs game?
Year or two ago.
Which one?
I can't remember right off the top.
Okay, so I went to a majority of the games last year, and they cheer really, really loudly.
That's fine.
So you would like for them to
boo a little bit quieter and cheer even louder. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, we could agree.
Right.
We got to disagree on this topic.
I don't do agree to disagree.
Yeah, we're just gonna disagree. Yeah, for sure.
Is Giddey Diddy or not Diddy?
I was gonna. Oh dang! I didn't know you were putting up that picture. I was gonna say don't put a picture up of the minor, but we got the
It's
minor.
only her forehead. She put her own picture up.
She did, but I don't think we should repost it. But Josh Giddey is under investigation by the NBA because of an alleged relationship with a minor. And last time they flagged us on YouTube. Michael Figueroa says, "Hope we agree on this topic." You should have heard us behind the scenes earlier.
You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised how we don't agree on topics. This is, I think, like we were talking about the age of consent in Australia, where Josh Giddey is from, in Oklahoma, where Josh Giddey is 16 years old. I think it's really weird for, even though it's consensual and she's technically consenting and she's of age in the
As we understand
in the state of Oklahoma, she's allegedly 16 years old. I still think it's creepy as hell. And I find it really weird how the media crucified Brandon Miller, and the NBA also, had their doubts about Brandon Miller because of an investigation where he did not have any charges on him for providing somebody with a gun in an alleged crime. However, they're running an investigation on this weird relationship. And what we were talking about Diddy the last show, because I was really passionate about that topic, I feel like when it's young women or young men, it's very weird. I find it weird as hell. I don't want to say too many words because last time we got flagged. But it's weird.
What? Say it.
It's weird. No, I don't want to get flagged. I just said it's weird. That's all I'm going to say.
We didn't get flagged.
Okay. I'm going to avoid getting flagged. It's weird to have an alleged relationship with a minor. Very weird. If it's true, it's weird. And if it's consensual, some people don't think that it's weird. And I totally disagree. It is very, very weird.
It is unnerving to an extent. Weird. I don't know.
So how is it unnerving, and how do you not know if it's weird?
Because hold up, Ray. Hold up.
So, Ray, just so you know, in Oklahoma, it is not against the law.
If it's in Oklahoma and they're doing this in Oklahoma, it's 16 years old. We may not agree with it, but that is the law. Same thing with smoking, same thing with drinking, same thing with driving, same thing with insurance prices that go up and go down between 16 and 25 years old. Like,
So here's the thing about the law. I think there's a lot of weird laws, and this is one of them if that's the case. This is a weird law because he's 21 and she's allegedly 16. Even though it's a law, to me it's weird.
So
I think once you're past 18, once you're past
So why 18?
Because that's the legal age in the United States.
So you're different 364 days compared to 365 days at 18 years old.
I didn't say that I agree with it morally. I'm just saying at 18 years old, it's, to me, I'm like, okay, like if an 18-year-old about to turn 19 dates a 25-year-old, okay, they're an adult in the eyes of America, it's fine. But if you're 21 years old messing around with a 16-year-old, that's weird.
Okay, so what if you're 18 and then then you turn 19, the guy turns 19, she's still 16. Is 3 years too much?
Well, you could get charged with that because I know people who got charged at that age. 100%.
I'm not saying whether you can get charged or not, because a lot of times these charges are coming from parents that are pissed off because they didn't know what the fuck their kids were doing.
Again, and because they're mad and they're their minor's parent, they can go to jail for that and get charged for that. 100%.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, they can.
They can.
So my thing is this. It's weird to me. And yes, I agree. There we go. Lamont has the perfect thing. Use common sense. Yeah, use common sense. And got uncomfortable when I told him if it's okay in the eyes of the law for Josh Giddey to have an alleged relationship,
that's
with
really going down south, and I think that's really a disingenuous, because what you're trying to do, because what you're saying is everybody in Australia is wrong, everybody's in Oklahoma is wrong, everybody in other states in the United States are wrong. I may not agree with it, but I'm not going to make scenarios to make it sound even worse than it is, to have people jump on my side.
Hold on, wait. No, I'm not making up scenarios to have people jump on my side.
You are making up scenarios.
So then again, here I go back to the Pop and Kawhi thing. When y'all were making up scenarios about why Pop allowed people to boo, it was okay. But for me to make up scenarios in this situation, it's not okay.
No, I think there's levels.
Levels
go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Okay.
I think what you're saying, though, is like really disingenuous when you're talking about arguments and discussions.
So
because there's no nuance. Because are we going to talk about the biology? Are we going to talk about the real biology, not some made up shit? Are we going to talk about the real biology about how men and women develop, and there's certain things that happen at certain ages that is real? It's just real.
Okay, so let me hold on real quick.
And because we put an 18-year-old age on it, all of a sudden, I'm not saying I agree with it, but I'm not ready to throw him under the jail without knowing more.
I'm not going to throw him under the jail. I'm just talking about in general. I'm in general. I'm just saying, if the NBA does an investigation and they find out it's appropriate, then yes, he should be in trouble for sure. Now, if I need the details to come out so we can make a firm assessment on Josh Giddey and whether he's like Diddy or not, but we don't have those yet. All I'm saying is that to me, it's weird when a 21-year-old has a relationship with a 16-year-old, and if he likes
it is unnerving.
Let me finish, please. If he messes with one 16-year-old, then who's to say he doesn't like 16-year-old? He's gonna mess with 10 16-year-olds after that. That's weird. If that's what you go after, is 16-year-olds allegedly.
But we don't know that.
We don't know that.
I think that's the piece that bugs me, and it reminds me of Fox News. I'm not saying that it happening, but if it did happen, it would be weird. It's planting the seed.
Hold on, wait. It was Fox News when I say it, but when last week when you were making up scenarios about Pop and saying Pop did it because he wanted to protect Kawhi because he probably heard something, and you're giving him grace and all this stuff, and you agree with that. That's not Fox News-ish. That's not Fox News-ish.
What I'm talking about is for me, it's two entirely different things. If there was a woman that was being accused of something or anything like that, I would take up for her also, because it is dangerous when we start throwing words around like groomer, pedophile, rapist, all the terms. Hold up.
They will flag you. I don't want my show to get flagged, so can you please not use those terms?
They're not going to flag you for that.
They
talk about that all the time.
No, they flag you.
No, this is not TikTok. This is not TikTok.
On YouTube, if you
could just... No, we're good. Do you know what we talked about on TikTok?
No, because...
I'm sorry, YouTube?
I watch YouTube all the time. They're not allowed to say those terms. They get flagged.
Yes, you can.
If you could just not kindly do that for the show. Right. I'm just asking nicely. So Robert says, if bro was black, he would be suspended right now. What do you think about that, Guyland?
I don't think so. If he was black, maybe messing with a white girl, possibly. But who knows? Listen, it's unnerving. I'm not ready to throw this dude under the bus. Different upbringing. We don't know how she was raised. We don't know anything. All we know is that there's a league pitcher. Do I want him, if I had a 16-year-old daughter, sleeping with my 16-year-old daughter? No, not at all. But I would understand certain things. My daughter's 17, 18. He's older. They've met at different times. I'm not just going to say one size fits all for this particular situation.
I feel like it's case by case, and we need more to come out. But at the end of the day, it's gonna unravel, and I'm gonna keep a close eye on this because I want to see how the media reacts. I want to see how the NBA reacts, and I just want to see how he's treated as opposed to other players, and then we can do a comparison based off of what comes out. And
but if he's in Oklahoma and he's 16 years old, he's not doing anything wrong. We may not like it, but he's not doing anything wrong.
In the eyes of the law, yes, you're right.
Right.
But I think with morals, for me, it's hard for me to accept morally.
What morals?
Like, as far as like...
The morals of the Bible?
No, morals of
Because this was okay in the Bible.
Sleeping with no, did I mention the Bible? I said
No,
my
but
personal morals. My personal morals against messing with underage women. I feel like 18, chop it off. That's where I cut it off. That's me personally. So for me, it don't sit right with me.
So 17 to 18, everything's different.
Okay, Michael is saying she was 15 and in Cali. Okay, lock his ass up, throw away the key if that's the case. If that's the case. If that's the case. That's all I'm going to say. It's a weird situation, but I appreciate you for saying this, Gylan, because not every man is going to say that out loud.
Of course not.
A lot of men are not going to say that out loud, and there are men who have your sentiments, whether they admit it or not. Not the people watching the podcast. Thank you, Lord. Yeah, shout out to y'all. But there are men who think like you in regards to that.
It's
like
not even thinking like me.
If it's okay
Open up
with
a
the law.
biology book. Open up a biology book. There are certain things that happen to our body, and that's just it. Just open up a biology book.
My thing is,
and because the law says 18, doesn't make it what it is. It just makes it a law.
So I like the fact that we can have uncomfortable conversations that not everybody is willing to have, because these are the things that people talk about behind closed doors. And yes, people are frustrated with Gylan's thoughts and maybe my thoughts, but hey, we got to have these uncomfortable conversations so the dialogue is opened up. And I'm not going to sit here and judge and say this is Fox News-ish or anything like that. I'm just going to listen to your thoughts and give my feedback.
The reason why I say that is because it's a tactic and it's used in the Fox News style of reporting.
But you use those same tactics, though.
Which is
but
not when it comes to sex, sexual assault, men being groomers or rapists or pedophiles or any of that. I don't do that.
Okay,
I'm not doing that.
I asked you not to say those words on the podcast.
I forgot.
Okay, so
we're having a conversation.
Yeah,
I've
but I
done
feel like you're doing
almost
that.
100 shows.
I know.
No. Hold up.
Hold on.
I've done almost 100 shows. Over 100 shows.
Yeah,
almost
but
200 shows.
I'm asking you nicely. Like, if you cannot do that, and I'm the host of the show, I'm just really asking you in a polite, respectful way. If
okay,
you cannot
and I'm not doing it on. I'm just telling you, I'm not doing it on purpose. We're having a conversation. Mm-hmm. I don't think about. I can't say this. I can't say that. I just talk.
Understandable. So I'm gonna wrap up the show. And I hope you guys have a great time. I'm going to be back next Monday, and we'll see you guys next week on League of Our Own. Thank you. Have a great day.